boxes. Now you're in 28 boxes. They're all jobs. You're exhausted. And I said, if you had your way, what would be the first box you'd get rid of? Of course, for most people, it was the accounting and finance box. Because unless you're a CPA, nobody wants to do their own bookkeeping and accounting. That's not a thing they want to do. Great. Did you know you can hire a bookkeeper for a lot less money than the amount of time you're wasting trying to do this yourself? And I don't care if you have QuickBooks or whatever, so does the bookkeeper. Just let them do it. Give them access to your bank account as long as you can trust them. Make sure it's audited. Hire a CPA to do your taxes. And let's start with there. And then we'll work to the next thing, right? Don't design your own website. You're not a web designer. It's going to look amateurish. Hire somebody to do it, right? Because we also want to save a buck, right? We're starting a business. I don't have any money. I'm going to save a buck. I can just do it myself.
Yes, that is the temptation, but sometimes saving $1 costs $3.
That's the stepping over the $100 bills to pick up the shiny nickels. Yeah, no, that's a bad
all
plan.
the time. Solopreneurs who are held up in their business, they're not actually offering the service they're great at because they're so distracted trying to figure out how to do a website, how to do social media, how to do all the different things. I see it in big corporations who want to save $1 by giving everything to the junior employee and then having to pay 3 times as much when they have to redo everything when it's
or
done
they're out of
correctly.
compliance because the employee didn't know about the compliance rules.
Or when it takes 5 times as long because that employee is busy Googling how to do something. And there are times in business where you do need to save your money and maybe you have the time. There's certainly been times in business where, as much as I would love to hire someone to do content or a website, sometimes it makes more sense. You know what? I need to figure out how to do this. But there are also times when you realize, you know what? I need to make the investment because if I can pay someone else to do this, that is what is going to clear me up to generate more income coming back in.
And it's also knowing your own skills. So if you are a creative and you decide to do your own social media content, that's probably okay because that's probably something you actually enjoy and you're good at, and you have the skill set to do it, and you actually put a smile on your face doing it. That's fair enough. Now, you don't want to do too much of it that you take away from what you're doing to generate money, but you don't want to do the things that you're no good at. That's not where you want to go. For me, anything artistic, I'm usually outsourcing to other people because I don't have the skill set to do my own graphic design. I don't have my skill set to do my own layout and those kind of things. I can't do it. I mean, I could do a rinky-dink job on PowerPoint or something like that, and it would look like some amateur did it on their kitchen table, which is exactly what it would be. And I don't want to look like that. You want to look professional. So I think there's a lot to say about finding the right people to do things is more cost effective than saving the money by trying to do it yourself, and also identifying who are my actual customers. Everybody's not my customer. I need to identify them so I don't waste my time and money marketing to people that'll never be.
Well, and that's one of the most important parts of doing less too, is to really, if you've never done a brand or business audit, I always recommend starting there because otherwise it's very tempting. What happens is we end up being reactionary and then I have to hire someone to do social media, or I have to do this, I have to do that. And in order to do less and free ourselves up to be more successful, it's so important to do that brand audit and really know ourselves well enough to know, okay, what are the things that I can figure out for myself? What are the things that exist within the team? What would be the most efficient resource to bring in to move the needle? And ideally, anytime you're doing anything for your business, growth or marketing, you want to be able to take a good chunk of that profit and put it back into your marketing budget so that you can do the next piece. So that's so important to really streamline what's going to move the needle and to really focus on that one place at a time.
Great. We're going to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to do our last segment, wrap all this up. We are talking to Sarah Michelle, identity evangelist and a brand strategist, and we are talking about how to focus your efforts in your business, be a little more efficient and effective, and kind of learn some of those lessons that most of us learn the hard way when we're solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and trying to start a business. This is Building Solid Foundations. I'm your host, Steve Matley. We are on KCAA 1050 AM all over Southern California. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hello, everyone. I am Lynette LaRoche here at Fabulous Lifestyles Foundations Radio Show. So excited to have you here with us. We have so much to offer you, and we have amazing guests that we bring on every Sunday. So we want to make sure that you tune in on KCAA Broadcasting Network Because remember, this is all about having a fabulous lifestyle, and it can be yours to be had. So tune in every Sunday to Fabulous Lifestyle Foundation Radio. And we also have other radio shows that would be of interest to you as well in fashion, fun, and finance. I am Lynette LaRoche, and remember, you need to build a house before you can bring in the furniture.
This is Steve Matley. Join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations radio talk show. I spent decades as a professional construction manager, business owner, real estate developer, and a college educator, and I enjoy learning new things from other people. We talk a lot about real estate, business, and finance, but we cover a diverse range of other topics as well. Some of the topics we've discussed in the past few months include real estate investing, leadership, higher education, ADUs, marketing using technology, multifamily rental properties, business strategy, entrepreneurship. You never know who may show up or what they may talk about. So join us right here on KCAA for Building Solid Foundations Radio.
Hey guys, it's Damon, Mr. Foxy, Damon Hart, and I'm here with the real men of real estate. And I just want to say, hey, come and watch us this Sunday, 1 p.m. live, every Sunday. Okay, we're going to be on KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. If you got a minute, just tune in. We can't wait to have you here. I'm going to be there. If you can't make it on there, we're going to be at Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Android app on Building Solid Foundations channel. So tune in. You know what you got to do in the meantime. Keep it foxy.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations. I'm your host, Steve Matley. Today, we have been talking with Sarah Michelle. She's an identity evangelist and a brand strategist who is an expert at helping people identify how to market themselves and brand themselves by representing who they really are, what they really have to offer, and do less. Get more by doing less, and really take a lot of the stress out of running your business, because running a business is a lot of stress. And if you can take a lot of things off your table and not worry about so much stuff, your life becomes better. And a byproduct of that is you become more profitable. And that's kind of the idea when we get into business is, can we be more profitable? All right, so let's recap real quick. When we finished up the last segment, you mentioned you kind of do a brand or business audit because it goes back. And earlier in the first segment, you mentioned that in any business, everything goes back to the top. That's the person in charge. So in a business, when there's a startup, you have an entrepreneur, solopreneurship, whatever it is always created in the image of the founder or the owner.
Yes.
It's a reflection of us. It's like that in the old days when they used to have the signet ring and the wax and they seal things, that impression was an exact impression of the ring that was left there. And that's what we're doing. The business is that wax impression that the business owner puts on there. So Building Solid Foundations, where this name of this show came from, started from when I was doing business consulting, and I'd always take owners back to build the solid foundation. What is your purpose? Who are you? Why do you exist? Where do you think you're going? What's your vision? Where do you plan to be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What are your core values, those non-negotiables you have, that if you were offered something to violate those, you would turn it down no matter how lucrative it is? These are what I'm here for. This is the reason I started my business, was to do this. And a lot of times I say, well, I wanted to make money. No, because you can make money doing a lot of things. You can sell illegal drugs and make money, but you're not doing that. So there must be another reason you're doing your business. There must be a bigger purpose there, right? So going back, and I'm we're going to get into this brand business audit thing, which is kind of where to start. And I'm assuming that means going back to those elements. Is that right?
Yes, going back to the very basics, going back to the heart of something. And I think I love the name Building Solid Foundations. It's something that I talk about with clients all the time. I think that I generally compare it to building a house where everyone's really excited about building a really amazing bathroom. And that's awesome. I love a good bathroom. Like, that's so exciting when you have the clawfoot tub and all the fixtures and features. But you can't build the bathroom without having the foundation. It will be a very expensive process. And if you try to do that yourself without a blueprint, without a plan, and you just kind of show up with a toolbox and start hammering stuff, it's going to be very expensive. It's going to be very messy. You're going to end up spending a lot of time and money, and you're probably never going to get anything that actually looks like the bathroom that you want. And so when it comes to building that foundation, it's about knowing yourself, knowing what you're good at, knowing what you want something to be. And a lot of times we just get so busy running with our business that we forget to stop and ask ourselves if we're even happy with the direction that we're running in. And that is completely okay to run in a direction for a year and then realize, you know what? I don't think I like this. Now that I have more data, now that I'm more educated, I think I'm actually better over here in this avenue that I didn't know existed. And so that brand audit of really knowing your business is so important. And it almost always comes back to doing a personal audit of really knowing yourself very well and kind of being honest about, am I actually enjoying the life that I'm working so hard to create?
And so that's I talk people through also. When you're looking at your business, look at it, have your own. You need a business mission or purpose statement, but you need a personal one too. You
Yes.
need a business vision. You need a personal vision. You need a business core values that reflect your personal core values. And I tell them, so in the business, you have a culture. In a human being, you have a personality.
Mm-hmm.
And in a business, you have a brand. And in a human being, you have a reputation. Right? And that's how you have to look at it. They're very similar because again, it's a reflection. The business is a reflection of the human, and that's what your whole point is getting to. This is, can you somehow brand your business to reflect who you are as a human being? And the fact is, there's not another one of you on the planet.
Yeah.
There's 7+ billion people out there, and not another one of you.
Well, and also what happens to the importance of really knowing your own identity as well is to help create those protective boundaries. Especially if you're a solopreneur, it's so easy to just become entangled with your business. And now, if someone doesn't want to work with you, if they've rejected your business, it's almost like they've rejected you. If someone doesn't like your business, they don't like you. And when you're doing marketing, when you're, especially if you're building a personal brand and putting yourself on the internet, it starts to feel like you're just naked on the internet and everyone's entitled to your life. And so it's so important to do that work of knowing yourself, knowing who you are, so that you can feel more confident and you can have that separation between yourself as a person and yourself as a business. And I think that we need that maturity and that self-security to be able to do our business more successfully.
Well, I think you also need to insulate yourself from people you should not be working with. Because if you
Yes.
have the core values, there are people that'll suck the life and the soul out of it. There are people that are parasites that are trying to take your time and your ideas and everything, and then they're going to stiff you. So you want to look at people that don't fit your values and don't fit the kind. They don't fit, and those people you can identify and say, "You're not my client." And you can say it in a nice way. You don't have to be rude about it. But you also have to look at the existing clients and fire some of them. And we
Yes.
don't want to do it because we're saying, well, that's steady income. And how would I do? No, sometimes the best thing you do, again, you mentioned the 80/20 rule in another context, but that 80/20 rule, that Pareto principle, same thing. Sometimes that 20% of your problem client is sucking up 80% of your time and energy. You can't serve your other 80.
Yes. And your clients will also attract like clients.
Yes.
And when you're curating your business, when you're building something, I've watched this happen where, you're new, you need the money, you don't want to turn someone down, but those soul sucking clients, they're never worth it. And then you get stuck and you get trapped with all these bad
All
clients
soul
who
sucking clients because they
they
brought their
want the
friends.
cheaper prices, they want more
Yeah.
work, they don't appreciate the value of what they're getting. And I think that we all have to work with a life lesson at some point in our life. But I think anyone who's been in business for probably more than a year has worked with that life lesson and can attest that it is never worth it to take the bad client. If you get that feeling in your stomach that tells you, I dread talking to this person, trust that feeling, send them on their way,
Yep.
and trust that something and someone better will come along.
Absolutely. So we're gonna have to put a bow on this one. Sarah Michelle, identity evangelist and a brand strategist. If you want to get hold of Sarah, go find her at justsarahmichelle.com, or you can find her on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook at Just Sarah Michelle. Check her out, find out what she's got going on, and check out the Successfulish podcast. Sarah puts that out. She's got fantastic guests and great information. So check out the Successfulish podcast. It's on probably your favorite podcast streaming platform out there. It's on a bunch of them. And we're going to put a bow. I want to do a quick summary. 1, don't get caught up in the should be. 2, avoid the short-term mentality. 3, learn how to do less so you can get more. 4, you can't be all things to everybody or do everything yourself. 5, find 3 things every day you can focus on to move the needle forward. And that is what I got out of this conversation. Sarah, those are gems. Thank you very much. I think I could write a book on this. That's awesome. So I want to thank you for being my guest today on Building Solid Foundations. And for you audience out there listening, if you want to hear this again, we are on Roku, we're on Amazon Fire, we are on the Android, on the Building Solid Foundations channel. We're also on the kcaaradio.com archives. Catch us on your favorite podcast platform. And until next week.
Miss your favorite show?